I start feeling fears. My tendency is to disconnect from my body. Like I am going up somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't
closer
know.
with the mic again.
Yeah,
That's better. So you can hear yourself in there.
Yeah. And then I start fearing, fear about that disconnection, and I feeling that, but I cannot feel that fear because I disconnect on the first place.
Yeah.
And that addiction, and how to go to.
Yeah, it's an addiction to get away from your fear. It's a way. It's like numb myself to my fear, get away. And a lot of women are experts at getting out of their body. And this is why many women also have sexual problems as well, because they're getting out of their body. And why, when I say sexual problems, I mean difficulty with orgasm and difficulty with sexual connection, getting out of the body. But also because you've been taught fear is something you want to avoid. Fear is something that you feel like you can't handle. And so if you're out of your body, then of course you don't have to feel what the body's feeling. Now, it's going to require effort to get back into your body.
Yes, I'm trying, but it's really hard to me to.
Whenever you don't want to do something, you got to pray about why you don't want to do it. So if you start experiencing fear and then you go out of your body, then of course you need to pray about, well, why did I just go out of my body? What was the reason for doing that? Right? God can share with you why you're doing it. And for each of you, it may be different reasons. But what I find is a lot of times there's the perceived threat from the environment, and that then causes you to say, I can't feel this terror. Get out of it instead. Right? And so you've got to undo that process. And you're asking me how, but for each of you it's going to be different, isn't it? Because each of you have different reasons for going out of your body.
And the principle is don't try to force yourself back. Be
gentle and find why you did it.
Kind with yourself about why. And then you'll discover, and then you'll never do it again.
Yeah.
But, the problem lots of us have is I know I need to feel my fear. Now I've gone away. Oh, I've got to get back there. But
then you start getting punishing on yourself and heavy with yourself, and that's not going to help.
Shuts everything down.
Yeah. It's not going to be good for you. Yeah. Because fundamentally a part of this is loving yourself. Now, it's not loving to avoid your fear, right? But it's also not loving to punish yourself for having it. And it's also not loving to punish yourself for avoiding it. Right? So you need to deal with the lack of love of self in the process of trying to get away from your feelings. Also, there's a trust in God issue here. For women, when they start feeling terror, they don't trust God anymore. Right? For men, when they start feeling sadness, they don't trust God anymore, generally. But for women, it's when they start feeling fear. Yeah? Now, also, I must say, men do have a lot of fear, but a lot of times it's fear of their grief. Men also do have a lot of fear generally, but a lot of times they use their intellect to get themselves so far away from it that they think they have none. Right? So you guys who think you have no fear, you're lying to yourself. Everyone on earth is going to experience fear at some point. And the degrees of fear will depend on the experiences you've had. Like if a man's gone to war, his fear is going to be intense because there was a daily threat to his life while he was at war. So his fear levels are going to be intense. Also, if he had an abusive father, his fear levels are going to be intense, right? Because his life's in daily threat of violence. So he's going to have some fear and it's going to be quite intense, right? For women, they've experienced that and usually more sexual fears as well, like fear of being raped, fear of getting sexually harmed, right? There's that additional thing that most women feel. You walk down the street here in Innsbruck and the average man is sexually projecting at almost every woman he sees, and certainly every attractive woman he sees, right? And men are taught that this is normal behaviour. You know, most men even say to themselves, I'm a man, what do you expect? Now, for most women, you feel that as a sexual threat. So there's fears about, being open or free sexually. There's also fears about what men will do, if they find you attractive. A lot of women, as they get older, they purposely want themselves to be less attractive in order to avoid their projections, or they go down the other track of they've, makeup and trying to keep themselves beautiful, so men at least find them attractive, so men won't make fun of them or ridicule them anymore. Right? So women have a very complicated life on earth, and you need to, at some point, admit to yourself how bad it really is and has been for women on earth. And it has been worse for women on earth for many centuries than it has been for men. For many centuries. It's just a fact of the problems that are on earth between men and women.